Hello again, ladies, gentlemen, and miscellaneous whatevers. This is Evil Pikachu, the most adorable Lalafell in the universe, and this is part 4 of my beginner's guide. Now, I've explained how dungeons and the like work in some small detail, but let's actually do a dungeon run together, and you can see just how chaotic it goes. Hopefully this will send me somewhere simple. I am really not in the mood to do a complicated dungeon. A word of advice, if you want your duty roulette to go very quickly, play as either a tank or a healer. If you are a DPS class, you'll be waiting around 6 to 10 minutes. If you are a healer, this happens. Less than 5, and I seriously... yeah, done already. I apologise for the inevitable cavalcade of misery this will be. This is going to be an absolute shit show. It always is when I play. I'm also a healer at the moment. Oh, where we go? Oh, Samal! Ah, come on! This is quite a late dungeon for me. Summon my fairy. Or more accurately, Carbuncle, because I've got him clammed to look better. Right. So, Yazara here is our tank. He takes the lead. I am a healer. My job to make sure he doesn't die. Anything beyond that is entirely bloody optional. I would read out the skills as I'm using them, but this is going to be chaotic enough, so just bear with me and try to figure it out as you go. Anytime the tank is doing just fine healer-wise, I should be doing DPS with my basic magic spell. Not very good, but every little helps. I also have a damage over time ability to inflict poison on things. You should put that anytime you've got a chance to do it, then you should be doing it. It's that simple. Wow, this isn't going well already. This is, quite a complicated dungeon for a healer that's a little out of practice like myself. See, the tank is pulling quite a lot, so that doesn't help. I should have explained that I'm kind of a noob and that I'm recording. She's taking more damage than I can heal here. See, this is what's referred to as the tank over-pulling. They are taking on way more than they can realistically handle. This is what happens when the tank has an ego problem. We survived, but just barely. Ah, finally the boss. It's actually something of a respite, to be honest. See, I'm casting Broil when the tank does not need healing. I've already applied my Bio 2 debuff, so damage over time, if they are left to run their full allotment, they will actually do more damage than your basic spells. But you do need to have them running for like a full 30 seconds. Truth be told, I've never figured out what that symbol means. You have various skills, like you'll note that whenever I'm on the move, instead of casting Broil, I cast Ruin 2. The reason for that is because Ruin 2 is an instant cast. I don't have to stand still to use it. It's not as strong as Broil, but I can use it while I'm mobile. So if I need to get out of an AoE like I had to just then Ruin 2 is the better option. This is the loot system. I don't actually need any of this. I could choose to grab it anyway with the greed system, but let's not be greedy. Just pass on them for now. That's essentially the options you have. If it's for your class specifically, you can choose need. If you just want it, you choose greed, and if you don't want it, click pass. And then everybody essentially rolls a dice. Whoever gets the highest roll wins. So now I can do this while I'm on the move. Tank's looking a bit peaky, so we'll switch over to healing. Using my basic healing spell, because it will do for now. Now he's fine. So, choose another enemy, and start casting Broil. FYI, if you think this is chaotic, I could show you true endgame content. It would be spoilerific, but I could show you and you'd probably die of shock. The starting dungeons don't look anything like this, don't worry. They're so much simpler. You don't have to dive in. Like, this is level 54 content. It's not actually that bad, or think this is about halfway through the first expansion. That gives you some sort of indication as to how absolutely ludicrous this game gets when it's firing on all cylinders. He's now going to bugger off. Oh, wait for me, damn it, I'm only little. It's the only problem with playing as a Lalafell. I've only got tiny little legs. They run off without me. They finally remembered they know Peloton, thank you. In this group, by the way, the tank is a Gunbreaker and the 2 DPS are a Red Mage and a Dancer. Interesting combo. I am of course playing Scholar. Very strange combination of drops there. This guy's not that tough. Need to do that though, refresh my... refresh the debuff on him. I don't think he's going to live long enough to be much of a threat, to be honest. Why didn't that work? Ow, my face. My lovely face. Well, that's the big T-Rex dead. Don't need that. Do need that. There you go. I got some new armour. This wasn't a total waste of time after all. I said this is a sort of mid-game dungeon. I'm playing as a healer and I'm a little out of practice, so probably not the best demonstration, but I do have an area of effect attack, by the way. Art of War. If you don't have any healing to do, use your AoE. Believe it or not, White Mage, one of the other healers, gets a couple of the best AoEs in the game. They get Holy, which stuns the enemies, and they get the Blood Lily ability, which is absurdly busted. take the health back. You'll note when there's orange stuff on the ground, don't stand in it, that's an enemy AoE marker. I know it sounds obvious, but I have seen so many people not understand that. I don't get how anyone could not. I mean, this part of the dungeon is not particularly challenging, to be honest. I have also run this dungeon about 3 times over the last couple of days, so I'm at least slightly back in practice on this one. There we go, this should be the final boss if I remember correctly, or close to it. I will skip the cutscene for spoiler purposes. But yeah, we're fighting a big ass dragon. Oh, Skull. Got a new book, that's always handy. Same rules as always. Don't stand in the AoEs. Anytime you don't need to be healing, you should be casting something. Anytime you shouldn't be casting something, you should be healing. Am I going to get targeted by Comet? Yeah. Comet move far away, it sends out a shockwave. So you need everyone sort of separated. And then you move away from the shockwaves. A lot of people don't understand how that works. Ow! My face. On this part, you need to take out the 2 wings, otherwise he'll end up doing some sort of crazy super attack that kills you instantly. Get away from me, you're about to get hit by a comet. Right, that's that done. Ow. To use lustrate on myself, that hardly ever happens. Top up the tank, I've got no other use for the magic at the minute, so. And that is dungeon complete. And I leveled up, let's go. Skip cutscene, so no spoilers. Player commendations. Offer it to whoever you feel did best. Don't need that. Might need that. I will explain player commendations in a moment, but that is essentially a basic dungeon run. As a healer. Yeah. It's a lot more action-packed than you thought, isn't it? Oh yes, got all 3 commendations. Thank you. Right, commendations. Like, you just saw me give one out. I gave it to, I think, the tank, because he was the only one left by the time I got around to voting. You'll also note in the chat down here, I got all 3. Everybody gave me a commendation, because I'm a healer and I did a good job. So, it's generally good form to give the commendations to the healer. That does lead to a rather curious circumstance. Human reputation, you see, I've earned over the last 1,000 or so hours 616 commendations. I don't play healer a lot, that's why. Going to do character achievements and commendations. For 10, you get the title Heart of the Party. Does nothing, it's purely aesthetic. For 50, you get the Princely Hatchling minion. You get a crown at 100. For 300, you get some barding for your chocobo. At 500, you get a set of gilded Magitech armor, which is pretty cool because it plays Terra's theme from Final Fantasy VI as you ride around. For 1500, you can get the best gown ever, which I'll debate that until the day I die. I mean, it doesn't look that good to me. Looks like something that King Charles wore to his coronation, and I don't want to dress like him. For 3,000 player commendations, you get the Parade Chocobo whistle. You're going to have to run a lot of dungeons and do a lot of good healing to get this thing. There are some parts of this game that will take you 1,000,000 billion years to achieve. I'm not going to lie. So that is a basic dungeon run as a scholar. What did you think? Exciting? Confusing? I didn't use some of my abilities because they were level synced away, so I couldn't use deployment tactics, for example. So, as I said, you got your basic magic for healing and damage. You've got damage over time. Izuna didn't come up much, despite there being a poison dragon there. Sucker for AoE healing. Art of War is my area of effect attack. So, thankfully, I didn't have to cast Resurrection, because it costs a lot of mana and takes forever. So, nobody died. That's how you know the healer did a good job. Not only did you clear it, but nobody died. So, a couple of tense moments there, but again, I'm a little out of practice. So, all things considered, that went pretty well. So, let's see if that new gear is genuinely better. The ring is better. Excellent. So, that will up my item level just a tiny bit. Not by any substantial amount, but every little helps. So there we go. That is dungeon running. Essentially how it works, as I said, your tank is the team leader. They take all the damage. My job is to restore all that health as a healer, and the DPS are, if the tank is doing their job, the DPS should be basically invisible to the enemies. They should have no idea that the DPS are even there, and that means that as a Dragoon, you are just standing there, stabbing things with your spear until everything dies. So, there's more to it than that, but we'll get onto that in later episodes. So, with that in mind, that is it for episode, I think I said 4 we're on now? I don't know, it all blends together after a while. But, join me again in the next episode, and we'll go over some of the delightful ways you can mess around and have fun in this game if you don't feel like running the dungeons and the story. So, until then, see you next time. Lovely talking to you, hope it was helpful. And, I know that some of the professional players will probably have watched that dungeon run and go, oh, that was terrible, you should have been doing this, 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 and this. By all means, leave those comments down below. I probably won't learn, but at least you'll know you tried.